But let's get back at it. Let's now that we have all the stuff on the drums, we can do a little bit of mixing the drums just subtly. Here we go. We'll listen to this section. So what I'm hearing right now is a little bit of bleed, like cymbal bleed in the snare mic, kind of cutting through and sounding slightly annoying. Let's listen for that. It sounds like going psst, psst, psst.
I hear that.
Yeah, so let's see what's going on with that.
Let me say something. I want to
Yeah.
interrupt you real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, guys, this thing right here that he's about to take care of, that sound that I hear on the snare, was one of the things that I hear in a lot of your mixes, which makes me immediately disqualify a mix. This is the kind of attention to detail that you need to start to employ on your mixes if you want to get stuff to the next level. It's a bunch of little things like that which add up to a great mix. But just so you know, if you think your mix is awesome and everything is great, and then I heard that, I would disqualify it from the top 20. So with that,
so there's ways around this. It's nearly impossible to get it totally gone, but you can definitely hide it as best you can, and we can go through a few ways. There's a few reasons why we're hearing that. Let's go for it. Let's solo the top snare alone. I can tell that the parallel compression is really accentuating that. So I'm just going to back that off a little bit. So that'll help. I'll even drop the parallel compression bus down a touch. Oh yeah, one thing too is after we've dialed in that parallel compression bus, turn off the pre. That way, I don't know, it's not a big deal, but especially because I'm at Unity for most of this stuff, but we'll put it off pre. Ah, my extra sends too. So I kind of had an abundance of top snare going to the parallel. That's one reason why you were hearing that. Cool. So that, for the most part, that cleared it up a lot. It was my send to the parallel. One thing I want to do right now is make the kick drum sound a little snappier and crackier. Let's see what we can do. So we'll add a little bit more compression so it bites a little harder. We'll add a little bit of these guys. You can hear the kick getting a little brighter. We'll go over to the sample and do the same idea. Maybe try a bell on the sample. Go back to our... That's cool. So also, you know, one easy way to make the drums sound more in your face is just by simply turning down the room mics. Let's try that. Those fake rooms definitely sound pretty cool. Let's keep them muted now for a second though. Let's listen, zero in on the cymbals for a second. Right now they seem a little small. Could probably use a bit more of the room mic. You can hear the cymbals getting a little washier in a good way. Drum kit sounding a little bit more live and real. Let's put the cymbals a little more in the center. You can hear what the room mic is doing. Room mic's doing a bunch. You know, there's a ton of just the entire drum kit is in that. So, but at the moment, it's actually feeling a little dull to me. So I'm gonna readjust my EQ on that. Still hearing a little bit of that hi-hat bleed issue, so I'm going to turn down the top mic a dB or two and the sample up a little bit. At the moment, the ring on the snare is actually sounding a little annoying to me, so I'm going to gate that. Using this stuff is super important and powerful, really, to the you know, using like the range. I'm assuming everyone out there knows how to use gates and releases and range, right? Pretty well.
For the most part, but if you want to give like a brief explanation.
So here's a real quick explanation of it. Range is really the, let's set our gate totally tight. So obviously that sounds unnatural and kind of annoying. So I'm going to loosen up the release, get the amount of sustain I want on the snare. That sounds about right. And then you can loosen up your range to hear kind of everything else. You know, right now it's totally tight, but if you loosen it up, you'll be able to hear some more of the ring, you know, more of the naturalness. So you can hear the entire ring, but it's almost like you have like control of the very tail end of the ring on this sample. And you know, this concept goes the same for anything really, especially kick drums and toms and stuff. So there you go, nice natural sounding thing, but it's also just controlled. It's like you have a lot of control over it. So let's get that in the mix. ride mic up. Got some automation on that. Let me turn it up. All right, moving on.